All right, then we would get into neurotransmitters related to serotonin and melatonin. They are called indolamines, whose precursor amino acid is tryptophan. What effect does tryptophan have at a general or central level? Well, we see that at a peripheral level, it has cardiovascular effects on smooth muscle. That is, it increases intestinal motility, and it also improves contractions of the uterus and bronchi. And at a central level, meaning in the brain, it regulates sleep, mood, thermogenesis, especially at night. And it also regulates appetite. That's why many people who have low levels of tryptophan and consequently don't have enough serotonin feel that compulsion for food. Do you know how many brains we have in terms of serotonin? 2 over here, 3 over there. 3. We have 3 brains. Exactly. The brain we have housed in the skull is responsible for the formation and production of 5% of serotonin. The second brain we have located in the solar plexus in the digestive area is responsible for producing 80% of serotonin. And the third brain is the skin. Before we were multicellular, we were unicellular. And in the cell membrane, we produced neurotransmitters. Well, 15% of the total serotonin in the body is made in the skin, which is the third brain. Notice that out of every 10 messages sent between the second brain, located in the gut, and the first brain, 9 messages are sent from the second brain to the first brain. And only 1 message goes from the first brain to the second brain. That is to say, the information is somatopsychic, not psychosomatic. It's like they're chatting on WhatsApp, where one sends 9 messages while the other receives just 1. So 3 brains: skin, digestive system, and brain mass. All right, so let's see how tryptophan is the precursor, serotonin. It also has to come in through nutrition, through food, and it also needs a series of cofactors like vitamin B, iron, which transforms into 5-hydroxytryptophan, and through these cofactors, B, magnesium, and zinc, it transforms into serotonin. And this leads to N-acetylserotonin, which later, through a series of biochemical processes called methylation and acetylation in the pineal gland, is biotransformed into melatonin. By the way, they recently discovered what the final molecule is that helps us regulate sleep balance, and it's not melatonin. Everyone thought it was melatonin, but it's actually valentonin. However, valentonin comes from melatonin, from the metabolism of melatonin. So, melatonin is still involved in some way. All right, tryptophan makes up 1% of the total amino acids. Tryptophan is destroyed by intense heat. This is why, if you do barbecues or grill meat or subject it to very intense cooking processes, you should know that tryptophan can be destroyed by prolonged cooking or high temperatures. In cases of constipation, know that there are people who eat too quickly, and this can lead to residues or protein fragments from food that haven't been digested well. And this may contain tryptophan. And in situations of constipation, they generate an aromatic substance called indican, which would indicate a disturbance in the balance of the gut flora. We also know that tryptophan competes with tyrosine. Now we'll look at the chronobiology of neurotransmitters, and we'll see that tyrosine should mainly be taken in the morning. You've heard that nowadays there are many problems with school failure. Kids who are struggling in school. Often, these are kids who don't have a good breakfast before going to school. Because to produce dopamine, we need a protein intake that contains L-tyrosine, which transforms into dopamine in the presence of iron. And this means that if the child doesn't have a good breakfast, they're present in the classroom, but they're absent during the teacher's explanations. So we see how nutrition, food plays an important role, and in the morning at breakfast, we should somehow include a protein load of about 30 to 40 grams. All right, free plasma tryptophan. Well, tryptophan has to cross the blood-brain barrier, meaning that for it to enter the brain, it has to be in its free form, because tryptophan is somewhat bound to albumin. And we know that branched-chain amino acids like isoleucine, leucine, and valine compete with it. And we'll see that this is a therapeutic resource we'll use later for cases of excess serotonin. They compete with the tryptophan transporters. All right, we also know that there are certain cofactors, as we mentioned, B, and chromium, which is very important. Chromium improves the sensitivity of insulin receptors, and this also enhances the sensitivity of serotonin receptors. You know that for tryptophan to enter the brain properly, we need insulin, and insulin is stimulated by carbohydrates. We'll also see that we're going to use it as a therapeutic resource many times to increase serotonin levels, but we also need magnesium and omega-3s, which provide that fluidity to the neuronal membrane. All right, so a deficiency of tryptophan can be found in vegetarians or in very strict diets due to absorption disorders like digestive issues, chronic stretching, and also in people who have a deficiency of cofactors due to taking corticosteroids. Corticosteroids deplete and consume B vitamins. Alcohol significantly reduces vitamin B. Stress excretes and eliminates up to 4 to 5 times more magnesium than usual through urine. And inflammatory syndromes and obesity can be causes of tryptophan not entering the intestine properly.